Hello everyone, what's going on? If you're wondering what the heck I was doing, I set up my new computer and I just had to get the hang of the stream set up. So we'll give everyone a few minutes before we get started. And in the meantime, I'm going to tweet this out. Let me see. What's going on, Micah Gaiman? How you doing? Pleasure to have you. Just need... Just gonna share this on Twitter so everyone knows we're live. Alright, sweet. Funny Valentine? I don't know, I've never really talked to one before. Alright, so. Also, can everyone hear me okay? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Excuse me. So, what arc am I on? So, let me set the context. So, for anyone who isn't aware, or in case I haven't explained it before, I have read Fairy Tail. I know everything that happens, but this is my first proper read through. So, I started with the anime, and then at some point towards the end, I went from the anime to the manga and just finished the manga. So this will be my first time. And then obviously I read 100 Years Quest. I'm a little behind on that though. But this will be my first proper read through from chapter 1 to chapter whatever. I know it's volume 64, 62, something like that. So today we're going to read for about an hour or so, and we're going to start right from chapter 1. And in case you weren't at the streams a while back, I'm not going to read everything thoroughly. I'm just going to tell everyone where I'm at so they can follow along, and I'm just going to kind of share my thoughts. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get started. So I am starting at chapter 1. So Fairy Tale chapter 1, The Fairy's Tale. And also, so for more context, this read-through is coming right off of my finishing Rave Master for the first time. So it'll be interesting how at least early Fairy Tale compares to Rave Master, because artistically there's a lot of similarities. How many days do I think it'll take? Ideally 4, starting today. Could be more like 5, just with scheduling and whatnot. If I had 0 responsibilities, it would really only take me like 3 days, I think. Alright, but we'll get started. We're at chapter 1, The Fairy's Tale. It's kind of... I always forget how cursed Happy used to look back in the day. Like, if you look at him way back in the day, and then you look at him now, he just looks goofy. Hold on. He looks very goofy. And in my opinion, at least back then, I wouldn't necessarily say it about today. He's definitely gotten better. But Hiro Mashima definitely has some issues when it comes to drawing animals. Something about the faces. definitely, excuse me, they're definitely, I don't know what the time gap was between the start of Fairy Tail and Rave Master, but there definitely seems to be a slight improvement in paneling. I would have to, let me see. No, that's the anime. Nope, that is the final volume, which is 2005. ...2006, so about a year. So yeah, that makes sense. He had a whole year to kind of workshop things. Oh wow, there's already a Rave Master reference. Page 22. Not, oh, Griff. There's Griff, and then there's like a little girl Griff. Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show the people who are like, oh, all he does is copy Fairy Tail. I mean, he's been doing this forever. Like, forever, ever. And honestly, I'm here for it. Yeah, definitely start Fairy Tail. Um, the only thing about it is it's Kodansha, so there's no convenient way to read the official translations. So, I mean, I said this in one of my videos recently, but you have the weekly Shonen Jump app, right? Could not be easier. It's like, what, $3 a month, I think? And then you have the Viz app for everything that isn't included on that. That's another $2 or $3. Super easy. There's the Kodansha app, but it's the biggest gimmick. They turn it into like a mobile game where you only get like 6 chapters for free a day. And then if you want more free chapters, you have to watch ads. Or you have to do like these silly things. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why they wouldn't just do a subscription service. But anyway, thankfully, unlike Ravemaster, it seems like most of the chapters are on Mangadex, so you can kind of flip-flop between the Kodansha app and Mangadex as you need to. You know, the funny thing is, how you doing, Laxus? Pleasure to have you. Thanks for stopping by. So the funny thing is, I said earlier how there seemed to be a slight improvement in the paneling, and now I'm reading this first chapter, and I'm like, the paneling's kind of boring. But obviously, it's not a static thing. I don't know. It was really weird. The paneling kind of goes... It has its peaks and valleys. Yo, Justin. How you doing, man? Good to see you. We're just reading some fairy tale. If you want to follow along, we're on chapter 1, and right now I'm on page 45. I am actually reading Fairy Tale on K Manga. Um, the only reason being, well, not the only reason, but part of the reason being, I have it open on MangaDex too. On MangaDex, you can't read the first 3 chapters. So I'm going to read the first few chapters on K Manga, and then we'll go to MangaDex. Also, the flip side to that is K Manga only gives you 6 chapters a day. I always try to support the official release, but the Kodansha app, they do not make it easy. Yeah, I don't really remember how I got into Fairy Tale. I always try to think back. I don't even remember when I started it. It had to have been in high school. I know that. Because it would have been after I got into One Piece. But I cannot for the life of me remember what possessed me to be like, oh, I'm gonna watch this show for the next 300 episodes. What's up, Kobe? How you doing? Pleasure to have you in the stream. Alright, so that was chapter 1. First chapter of Fairy Tail. This is like my on the spot chapter 1 review, first impression of Fairy Tail. I actually think it's a, like, I'd say it's like a 6 out of a 10. Maybe even a 7 out of a 10. It doesn't come off as the most original manga. It's very familiar, you know, even ignoring, you know, Fairy Tail as a series. If you pretended you had never read this before, which I'm kind of trying to do in one sense, it's a really nice chapter. Lucy is an interesting character. Natsu is kind of this mysterious character with really cool powers. I feel like they could have done a better job of portraying wizards, mages. What are they technically called in Fairy Tail? Mages? Wizards? The official translation is wizards, but I don't know if that's right. So the world building is good because they set up a lot of stuff like the council and the guilds and how there's different towns and what kind of role mages, wizards are, and how they're somewhat rare. So I'd say it's like a 6 or 7 out of a 10. I can see why people would like this series right away from the first chapter. Fairy Tail female characters get a lot of action in every arc. Are they most involved in action out of shonen manga that are over 400 chapters? I don't know. So how do I think the 100 Years Quest anime is going to be? I know there was a trailer today. I've not watched the trailer yet, but based on... I don't know, because they're going for the same art style as Eden Zero, where everyone kind of looks like rounded out and kind of less stylized and pudgier, and I'm not a fan of it. I think Mashima has a very distinct style, and they're kind of watering that down. Never got into Fairy Tail, but heard it's the only anime that takes genuine inspiration from One Piece. How true is this? There's similarities, but I don't really think it's taking inspiration from One Piece. Anyway, let's keep the stream going. We're going to move on to chapter 2. Excuse me. Alright, so we're on chapter 2. The Master appears. Wow, Mira Jane's face looks kind of funny. So I'm on page 5. Looks kind of flat in this page, I guess. Whoa, it's weird to see how Mashima drew hair back then. So Gray's hair looks fine. But then you look at Kana's hair. It's very detailed. Like, there's a lot of highlights. Ah, Makarov. What a guy. Remember when he used to wear the little jester hat? Peak character design. Can I think of any other fairy tale references in other manga? No, not really. I think the only reference is everywhere on the internet you can hear excuse me, you can hear the like wow sound effect. I mean, that is like everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I mean, like every genre of account possible. It's become ubiquitous. And I don't think Fairy Tale necessarily came up with that, but it made it iconic. And now people who like accounts that have nothing to do with anime will have it in their videos. So it's just very funny to see that um, evolution. So we're at the part. So Lucy and Natsu are teaming up to go save Macau, and they're in the mountains, and that giant monkey monster thing is attacking them. And they're called Vulcans, which is really weird. I don't know why Mashima decided to name them Vulcans. Well, I don't know if that's the actual name. It might just be like a translation, but still. Might be better than Eden Zero story-wise? I mean, it kind of depends. They're kind of two completely different stories. Yo, Blazing Boy, what's up? Pleasure to have you, man. Thanks for joining in. We're just reading some fairy tale. Right now, we are just finishing up chapter 2. And on that note, now we are going to read chapter 3. Thank you. Yeah, for anyone who was in the stream, after the stream, definitely make sure to check out the Fire Force video I uploaded today. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun reading Fire Force, and I don't know if I come right out and say it, but it's crazy how it, like, basically became one of my all-time favorite manga. I already liked the anime a lot, and by the time I finished the manga, I was like, this is one of the best manga I've ever read. Like, it's just that good. Excuse me. Alright, so we are on chapter 3, Fire, Dragons, and Monkeys and Cows. Also, there's another rave reference. So, Romeo is wearing a t-shirt, and it has, what's his name? Nakajima. Alright, that's pretty funny. Natsu. What's his name? Taurus. Natsu thinks Taurus is another Vulcan, and he just kicks him straight in the jaw. That is interesting. So, the Vulcan attacks Natsu with an axe. He heats the axe up, melts it into like a drop, and then uses the drop as a bullet and spits the bullet at the Vulcan. He, as far as I know, he never does anything like that again. That is weird. Alright, so I finished chapter 3. So, I mean, first few chapters, I can understand how people would, with zero context, would really like this series. I mean, again, is it revolutionary? No. But it's a lot of fun. And this is considering we're only 3 chapters in. But we'll move on to chapter 4. Alright, so we're on chapter 4, Stellar Spirit of the Canis Minor. Alright, so we get some more world building. We're in the Fiore Kingdom in Magnolia. finally get Plu back. So again, that's the third rave reference in Fairy Tail in 4 chapters. So, Plu is technically, what are they called? Of the Zodiac, right? Is Canis Major a Zodiac? Wait a minute, what? Hold on. Is that Levy? She looks so weird in this chapter. Alright, so it's 12:54. We're getting close to an hour, so we can go ahead and wrap it up here. I know that wasn't too many chapters, but I do want to thank everyone who stopped by for the stream. I'm definitely looking forward to my read through of Fairy Tail. It's long overdue, and I'm very excited to see, how it reads after all this time. But on that note, thank you everyone